Business mistakes are the most brutal obstacles any entrepreneur will ever face. And the reason they are brutal is because they are not external. They come from within, from our own inability to make the right decisions, especially when it matters the most. And what's worse is that these mistakes don't just cost you money, they crush your confidence. They make you question if you're even made for this game. And don't worry, I have been there. Here is the good news. This is a necessary step. And if you're not going through it, then you're probably not made for success. Because real success requires deep scars. You have to dig into the ugly stuff. You have to screw things up early, so later you're unshakable. And what I am going to share with you in this video is not meant to stop you from ever making mistakes, which is impossible, but it will show you the common patterns that destroyed my momentum over the last 10 years. And if you can catch even few of them early, you will save yourself years of pain, thousands of dollars, and probably an identity crisis or two. So if you're just starting your entrepreneurial journey, or even if you're already in the game but stuck, this video is your cheat code. Now, before we get into the first mistake, I need you to promise yourself that you will watch this till the end, because the truth is, these mistakes are not random. They build on each other, one leads to the next, and if you don't catch the full pattern, you will end up fixing surface problems, while the real issue stays buried. I am going to walk you through the exact traps that cost me time, money, energy, and belief. And if you're serious about your journey, whether you're just starting or already deep in it, then this might be the episode that actually shifts the way you move. Let's start with the first one, the one that kept me stuck longer than I would like to admit. Let me tell you how I operated for years. No structure, no rhythm, just waking up and diving straight into chaos. And the main cause of this is having a blurry vision. When your destination keeps shifting, how are you even supposed to design a path to get there? I didn't take time to revisit and adjust my vision as I evolved. My goals were outdated and my actions didn't match my new standards. So every day I felt like I was diving more and more into chaos, and I felt like it was a war and I had no map. And let me be clear, I am not saying you have to wake up at 4 a.m., take a cold shower and grind until your eyes bleed. See, there are here two extremes. On one end, you're the overthinker. You lay down, scrolling, but at the end of the day, you've done nothing. On the other end, you go all in, you wake up early, you crush a morning routine, but by noon, your energy is gone. And the real tasks, the ones that move the needle, get postponed again. I used to juggle between the two. I either burned out from overforcing productivity or absolutely did nothing and called it a rest day. What I have learned is this. You don't build freedom by copying other people's system. You build it by designing your own, starting small and leveling up. Your routines, your health, your discipline, they need to evolve with you. Build your habits one at a time until they become your identity and your system, because that's the real flex. Not getting disciplined for 1 week, but becoming someone who doesn't need to force it anymore is the big win. Otherwise, chaos will win every time. And ladies and gentlemen, this will lead us straight into the next mistake: letting perfectionism paralyze you. And I know, this one sounds familiar. Everyone tells you done is better than perfect. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you were truly being a perfectionist about something and actually released it? I bet there is almost nothing you can name. And if there is, it is probably just gonna be one or two things, and that's the real danger. Because on the road of success, the last thing you want is to take months just to complete few things and few steps. The world is moving fast, and perfectionism is the disguise of procrastination. Even worse, it can take something that was actually great and ruin it into something bad, because you just tweak it too much, you over edit, overthink, over polish, and by the time it is out, it is either irrelevant or it lost its magic. I have done that. I have killed amazing ideas. Perfectionism isn't about standards, it is about fear. Fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough, fear of facing reality. But here is what I realized. Every single piece of strategy that moved the needle in my business, it wasn't perfect. That's the real game. Perfectionism is the enemy of momentum. And in this world, momentum beats perfection every single time. But perfectionism isn't the only silent killer. There is another one that's just as dangerous. It is the belief that you can do everything on your own, and I suffered from it for years. I genuinely believed I was the only one who could do everything right, that nobody would match my standards. Instead of doing everything right, I burned out doing everything wrong. And it took me a long time to realize this truth. There are things that I'm great at, true, but there are also things that other people do way better than me, and that's totally okay. The best results happen when you put the right people on the right tasks. That's how projects are built, by collaboration, delegation, and understanding that perfection doesn't come from control, it comes from trust in a system. Now listen, I get it. You don't have funds, you can't hire a team, but this teaches you one thing. Every dollar you make, every gain you create, you need to start reinvesting in your business, not just in gear, not just in ads, but actually in people. Reinvest in building the machine that makes your business run. That's how you scale. That's how you create more value. Because trying to be graphic designer, the editor, the strategist, all while trying to be the brand by yourself, it's a recipe of collapse, and you don't win by doing it all. You win by building a system that gets everything done without you doing all the work by yourself. And once I understood this problem and this mistake, everything changed. So now, once you start working with others, you are going to face a new challenge. And this challenge lives in your own head. It's your ego. I used to think I knew better than everyone. I was stubborn, I ignored advice, and I couldn't humble myself enough to actually listen even when people were giving me gold. When I'm saying here, listen to people, I'm not telling you to listen to those negative comments, to all those things that are gonna keep you out of the business, but I'm telling you to actually listen to the people that actually succeeded in your field. So you don't really have to agree with every idea you hear. That's not what being humble means. What am I telling you is this: if you want to grow faster, you have to build the ability to think critically, not emotionally, not defensively, but strategically. You need to develop your own thought process, one that allows you to absorb different opinions, challenge them, and form your own conclusions. That's how you grow, and that's how you sharpen your vision, by pressure testing it. And one of the best ways to accelerate that growth is to invest in your skills, buy courses, attend seminars, to interact with other people in multiple fields, or you can even hire a mentor. Not because they all have the answers, but because they helped you ask better questions. And trust me, when your ego is quiet, your mind gets louder. And when your mind gets sharper, you avoid the kind of mistakes that used to drain you for years. The goal isn't to be the smartest guy in the room. The goal is to be the one who learns faster. That's what separates amateurs from real entrepreneurs. And once you kill that ego, and once you start developing your skills, build your systems, and learn from others, you might think you're in the clear and you're good to go. But there is one more trap waiting for you here, and this one is subtle, sneaky, and absolutely deadly, and it is a lack of focus. It is the classic beginner mistake, but the truth is, even experienced entrepreneurs fall for it. And the worst part, it doesn't feel like a mistake when you're in it. It feels like ambition, it feels like momentum, but in reality, it is just greed. The greed to be everything at once, to try every trend, to launch every idea, to build multiple businesses, each demanding your full attention, when you haven't even mastered one yet. And I get it. There is always a shiny new thing, a new strategy, a new platform, a new passive income idea, but let me be honest with you. I have fallen into that trap too many times to count. I have split my times across projects, I have chased trends, I have built businesses that had no synergy with my core offer, and I paid the price for every single mistake I have made. And if I had just committed to one clear path, if I had locked in one business model, I would have saved years of wasted efforts. And I know some of you watching this already know this is a mistake, but knowing it is not enough, because in the moment when your excitement hits, when opportunity knocks, you will feel the urge to say yes. So you have to build the discipline to say no. Focus isn't about doing more, it is about doing less, but doing it with relentless intensity. If you can master that, you will outrun 99% of entrepreneurs who are still juggling a dozen half-built dreams. Now that we have reached this point, I feel an obligation to tell you something, because this right here, this is the worst mistake I have ever encountered. I won't lie, I have fallen into it myself, but thankfully only for a short period of time. The mistake is trying to extract value without providing it first. I see this every single day. New entrepreneurs rush in trying to get as much as they can, as fast as they can, and they ask how I can make more money, how I can monetize this, how I can scale this funnel. But very few stop and ask one question that actually matters. How can I create something people genuinely need? And value doesn't come from copy-pasting what you saw on YouTube. It comes from thinking, from solving problems, from obsessing over your market. Everyone wants results, but very few want responsibility. But building a business means carrying the weight of someone else's problem and solving it better than everyone else. That's what earns you the trust, and trust is what earns you sales. You just have to shift your mindset from what can I get to what can I give, constantly and exceptionally. That's how you build brands, and that's how you build a legacy. Because if all you're trying to do is extract, the markets will eventually spit you out. But if you show up to serve, to solve, to lead, the markets will reward you far more than you ever imagined. This is the part where most people never learn, but this is the part that changes everything. So here is the truth. These mistakes, I lost years repeating them without even realizing it. But now I have come out on the other side. I know this for a fact. You don't need more ideas. You don't need another tactic. You need clarity, discipline to stop doing the things that are silently killing your progress. And if you take anything from this video, let it be this. You're not made to do it all at once. You're made to build step by step, as long as you're learning, adjusting, and staying locked in. So stop chasing shortcuts, stop trying to skip the pain, use these lessons as armor, because the game rewards the ones who stay in their lane, learn, and keep moving with precision. Now, if this resonated with you even a little, I would really appreciate like and comment your feedback. I will see you in the next one.